American scientists come to Europe. Let me explain, and bear with me on this. I'm a scientist, I'm a British scientist, a geneticist by background, who then specialized in science policy and health policy and global science dynamics. And in 2015, I set up Scientists for EU to campaign for the UK to remain in the EU. So I know global science dynamics. I know how Brexit hurt UK science. But what you guys are facing is far, far more serious. And I have been saying across various places in the UK, on podcasts, on social media, etc., that the US is going to have a brain drain of scientists who are likely going to go to Canada, Ireland, UK, Germany, elsewhere in Europe, maybe Australia, but those are going to be the main destinations, particularly those involved in various aspects of health science, green technology, climate science for sure. And this is because I have been watching the news coming out of the States, and it's absolutely chilling in terms of what the government is doing to federal funding at large, but also the National Science Foundation, National Institutes of Health, various conferences and lines of research, freezing things in order for them to be approved by a team at the middle that doesn't understand science at all. So you are in a dark period, but you also have power. Because if you look back to, yes, and I'm going to make the parallel with the 1930s, when a lot of scientists had to flee Europe for the New World, America got an incredible boon then, a real surge in power, in innovation, in can-do. I'm not just talking about the Manhattan Project, but I'm talking about the entire enrichment of the American economy through innovation that came with that big move from Europe to the States. Scientists can change the world. Scientists can change the power dynamic. And much as I've been talking to various people who in power and influence, who I'm encouraging in the UK and Europe to think about building offerings for not just US scientists, but any scientists around the world who would by default, usually by habit, go and look at the States as a place to go to because the labs are great there, but are now thinking, I don't really have the right colour skin to go over there right now, or I don't speak English naturally enough to be accepted should I walk around local towns. There is going to be a big brain diversion, a lot of it to Europe, as well as a brain drain from the States, because it's not just philosophical objection here, it's also your basic mechanisms of being able to do science, quality science, uninterrupted, are being snarled up extremely aggressively and on purpose by people who are proud to be ignorant, politically aggressive and obstructionist. And that is not good for your country. It is not good for your quality of life, but you do have power. You do have power to go and settle in a place where you believe that it not only embraces science, but it also embraces the fundamental aspects of humanity that need to be shored up right now. And I will tell you, Europe needs you. This is the time when Europe is getting itself together after being a sleepy giant for ages. It is the one entity in the world at the moment that is holding up international law, holding up International Criminal Court, World Health Organization, the lot of the structures that actually help humanity build forward. And I know you feel that, and I know you respect that, and I think that you have to, or you should, I'm really appealing to that, get on board with that and come over. And one of the things about science is it's really, really fluid. I mean, you go to any lab in the Western world, or even most of the world now, and it's an international mix. It's about competence and teamwork and respecting and celebrating that diversity and being able to harness it. That's being squeezed out in the States. You need to go where that's celebrated, not only in order to improve science per se and what that means for the lot of human existence, but also to go onto those territories and into those jurisdictions that respect that for its fundamental values, and you can lend your shoulder to that wheel and strengthen all of that up. And at the moment, Europe needs that. Europe needs a new renaissance. It needs to build fast on defense, on R&D, on science, on global links, all of these dimensions. And this is actually a pivot point in history. You all know it. I don't need to wax lyrical about that. But the point is, you can and should be part of it. And it's not just that Europe needs to, at the moment, offer the extra contracts and funding to Americans to come and do, PhDs and pick up programs and professorships, in the UK and in Germany and in Sweden and in Italy and whatever, right? It is also that one of the ways to nudge them is for you guys to be contacting all the people you know in Greece, in Denmark, in Austria, in France, in Portugal, wherever you've got contacts, and saying, what's going on in terms of job opportunities in your lab? What are the programs being built there? What can we do to transfer talented people over there? Please pass this up to your funders, pass this up to your politicians, because there is appetite to really build there in a way that is significant for humanity. And right throughout history, where that kind of talent congregates, changes not just economic dynamics, but political dynamics with it. You have to understand your own power here. And just as I and others are trying to make the call at the European level that we have an opportunity now to really take the mantle upon ourselves and build for that direction of what the West always should have been, it is also in your power to be the grassroots nudging it from below and saying, I want in, I want to come over, and I want to build. And when we've built here and asserted that strength, then all those links we can also take back home and build there too. But we could do with a lot of American trained firepower now. We're good on basic research, but in terms of converting it into business and innovation and patents and things like that, Americans are a step above, right? And for you guys to come over and for us to respect the way that you transition science and research into business investment and new products and things like that, that would be a real fusion of talents that we could build on. But the most important reason is as I've set out. You are in a situation not unlike other situations in the past where there have been mass exoduses of scientists, researchers, innovators, engineers, and those mass exoduses and resettlements and new places where it's a new world of values that you want to strengthen, that has changed global dynamics before, and it can again. So this is my letter to America, my letter to American scientists. Get in touch, reach out, think about yourselves in that global context, because we are going to have to build, and we're going to have to build at pace in order to save a lot of very important things in the future of humanity, essentially.